All right, so I'd like to welcome in now Drop Dead Series podcast host and NewsNation contributor, Ashleigh Banfield. Ashleigh, always so great to talk to you. So the judge adjourning again, unexpectedly, the second day in a row. What is going on here?
Well, you know what? I'm always thankful when that happens because clearly they're being careful. I think one of the things that judges are always mindful of is protecting the record, protecting the process, because nobody wants to do a do-over. Nobody wants to give sort of any window for an appeal. So there might be some things that the judge just wants to nail down and is taking his time at this point. I'm not the least bit worried about it. I know that the justice will continue into next week. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, these closings. You know, the cases can be won or lost in closings.
All right, so prosecutors have hammered home the point that while Clancy was telling family members she was having disturbing thoughts of harming herself, of harming the kids, she never told them before the murders about the voices, apparently only telling the chaplain. What kind of impact do you think the chaplain's testimony could have?
I think it's super important to take all of these pieces as silos and then remember that there will be a narrative that both the prosecution and the defense will offer these jurors in closings. That's why I say it's so important to leave them with the thread that goes through your argument. And I think you could say the chaplain cuts both ways. Okay, she didn't write it in her notes, but she also said, I'm not there as a stenographer. I'm there to offer support. And the other thing is, Nichole, and I think this is so critical, her lawyers have got to do one thing and one thing only, and that is tell this jury that you can come into psychosis and go out of psychosis, and into psychosis and out of psychosis. And you can't expect normal behavior at any point along that continuum. And so that will give them the reasonable notion that, okay, so she can be normal at times and then be plunged into this insanity, because that's what they have to determine at the moment that those killings happened. Was she in that psychosis? Let's not talk about 20 minutes before, 20 minutes after. It's in that moment. And so I hope that they know their science enough. I hope that they've done their homework enough. I hope that the doctors they've presented have done their homework, because it's not fair not to offer all of the science in this kind of case.
Yeah, you bring such a good point up there. So we've also learned that for over 4 months, she was on more than 13 different psychiatric medications. The psychologist who evaluated her testified she's not heard the voices since the murders. I just want to listen to some of that.
My opinion is that she did have indeed a mental disease or a defect. That's a legal construct, not a DSM-5 one, but she had bipolar disorder with postpartum psychoses. In addition, she was unable to conform her behaviors to the rule of law, and she had no appreciation for the wrongfulness of her act.
All right, so Ashleigh, we know jurors can interpret this however they will, but it could be said that she's now being properly medicated. Prosecutors, of course, are seeming to imply she was making it all up. What do you make of all of this?
Well, can I just say that witness is a golden witness for the defense? Because I heard two things loud and clear. Number one, she couldn't tell the difference between right and wrong, and she couldn't appreciate, she had no appreciation for the nature of her the consequences of her actions. Those are kind of the standards you have to meet to hit insanity. And this guy's like a pro. I'd hire him for any defendant at this point, listening to him on the stand, because he made it very clear. And I think in the closings, Lindsay's lawyers will quote him word for word on that clip that you just ran. She didn't understand the difference between right and wrong, and she couldn't appreciate the consequences of her actions. That's it. That's what you have to prove.
All right, so there was also a hearing without the jury on a witness the defense wanted to call. Emily Thorndike worked at the psychiatric hospital where Clancy checked herself in. Thorndike posting this video on TikTok after watching Clancy's ex-husband testify. Let's listen to that.
There's a reason that the doctors who are there during the week are only assigned 4 to 5 patients, because you cannot spend a long amount of time as a doctor with 23 different patients. So the job of the weekend doctor, as we call them, the holiday doctor, is literally to just go quickly check in with every patient. It is not a lengthy meeting.
All right, Ashleigh, so Thorndike told the court that the hospital discouraged doctors and staff from meeting with patients longer than 20 minutes. Do you believe this is, again, raising real questions about the level of care Clancy may or may not have received?
Yeah, I've had tons of questions all the way along ever since I covered Andrea Yates. And I feel that we've come a long way, baby, but nowhere near far enough in treating, understanding postpartum illness. And I call it illness because there is a broad spectrum of illnesses that come into play here. And for anybody who calls it the baby blues, shame on you. It is not the baby blues, period, end of story. It's offensive. It's your grandfather's term. It's not the baby blues. It can be horrendous. And I feel like that person hit the nail on the head. The system is taxed, and it is not always doing its best. And I think she was failed by the system. I think she was failed by a lot of us because we don't understand it enough yet, or at least as a community, as a flock, we haven't appreciated just how dangerous it can be. Nichole, all I needed to hear was that this young woman had suicidal thoughts and was afraid of harming her children and had 3 young children under the age of 5 at home. 3 under the age of 5. Why is she still doing telemedicine? Why isn't that telemedicine doctor saying, oh, sister, you have to come in. I need to see you in person. There is the failure. There is the failure for not recognizing that this stuff is serious. And she tried, and so did Patrick, and everybody failed her.
And we know that Lindsay has had several outbursts during the trial, including, of course, when the photos of the autopsies were shown. But let's just listen to some of that.
What about injuries?
All right, Counsel, we're going to take a break this time, all right?
And like I said, that's just one of several. Do you think that is likely impacting the jury?
Oh my God, yeah. And you can't unring that bell. And that's actually the term that a judge will often use. Oh, we can't unring that bell, but jurors will dismiss. Sure, dismiss my gut, dismiss what I just saw with my own eyes. This is a woman who's broken. And look, Andrea Yates was catatonic during her trial, and the first jury convicted her and the second one didn't. So it really just all depends on what the reasonableness of each of those jurors is going to be when it comes to making these decisions. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that you can't unsee, you can't unhear. But I will say this, Nichole, I really wish that they played the 911 call made by Patrick. My understanding is that Patrick made the effort to have that suppressed. I get it. It's very personal. It was guttural. It was horrific. But I think everybody out there in the internet land needs to hear it, because if the conspiracy theorists out there think that Patrick is somehow involved, all they need to do is hear that call. And I think they'll be disabused of that pretty damn quick. And yet we don't get to hear it publicly.
Ashleigh, last question for you. Why do you think this case has truly struck such a nerve with so many people all across the country?
Well, I was so amazed when Laura just put those videos up of the supporters out in front of the courthouse wearing pink. I was actually really surprised because the internet has been just so mean. And here these women are saying, I get it. I'm here with you. I think we need to be louder about this issue. I think we need to save more kids, more people, from this illness. And it is an illness. For instance, Nichole, I know that you suffered with a medical illness. And I feel like if I walked into a doctor's office and I said, I think I might have cancer, and they said, I think it's in your head, or you know what, let's just visit via telemedicine, we would be outraged. This is the same thing. It is a serious illness and it can kill. We should treat it that way.
Ashleigh Banfield, host of the Drop Dead Series podcast on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Ashleigh, as always, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.